basketball coach, associate head coach rather, at the Long Island University in New York, down in Brooklyn, right downtown Brooklyn. It's me currently.
Okay. Now, Coach, for those that don't know, you grew up in Detroit and you went to the same high school I went to. Our high school was so large that
No
I
question.
saw you like maybe twice in the hallway, and then the graduation at Kobo. But share with us your transition from junior high as a ball player to Cass Tech.
Well, I attended Drew Middle School, which is in my
Oh,
neighborhood. Drew Middle School down on Chicago and Wyoming. Panthers played under Coach Hill, William Hill, God rest his soul. He passed on. Just grew up between Barton, from Barton to Drew, then Drew, where I thought I was probably going to attend McKenzie High School. Couple dilemmas came into play. The guy that I actually, one of the first two guys that I say responsible for really putting the ball in my hand from a coaching aspect, which was Gary Pickett, God rest his soul. He was murdered. And that kind of changed my pathway as far as high school. So from there, went back a little deeper than, right before, after Coach Pick, which I met my gym teacher, which is my my elementary school gym teacher, Coach Arnett Jordan, God rest his soul. He just recently passed. He had a son that played at Cass Tech, and it's Arnett Jr., which is a colleague of mine with the family. He came up and met us at the little neighborhood at the hamburger spot, Royals, right there on Joy Road in Wyoming. Told me he wanted me to meet somebody. From that day, a couple days later, I was walking home, and a bunch of my guys came running down the street saying, "It's a coach up there at Royals waiting on you." That's where I met, my guy, the 100%, 1,000% Coach Robert Shannon. And that was the day that Cass Tech was pretty much introduced to me. And, I was on my way to King, honestly, go with my friends. I was going with me, Javon Clark,
Tico, okay.
Keenan Weir, D. Bryant, Fancy Booth. We're all going to King. Played together all the way coming up. We're going to King. And I met Coach Shannon. To be honest with you, he came from a little bit of a different perspective. He was the first high school coach that I had met that talked to me about life versus athletics. And then he talked to me about life. My players are going to be men when they leave, da-da-da-da. It just made a lasting impression. When he left my house, my father said, I want you to play for him. But that being said, that's my Superman, man. And his word carries a whole lot of weight in my heart and in any decision that I make. So, went, started playing summer league. Summer league at that point, we really was testing waters at that point. Me personally, kind of what you call a loyal guy, so I really don't believe in all the switching and doing that too much. But I went to summer league and I played 2 games. And that third game was when Coach, I said, "Come on, you starting this game." And I never ever did not start for him again. That's my guy to the day. Like he's lived through every life experience that I've had that's memorable to me. He's been there for me every last one, and that's my guy. Both of them. I'm sorry, I'm saying one. Coach Charles Shannon and Coach Robert Shannon.
Okay, now Coach Charles Shannon, was he the JV coach at Cass?
Coach Charles Shannon was the head JV coach, and he was the brother of Robert Shannon, which was the head varsity coach. Coach Shannon, Charles, I'm speaking of, he served as the assistant coach for the varsity as well. They both carry heavy weight. Anybody who went to Cass knows that. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
I know at Cass, as far as athletics, it was Coach Shannon and then Coach Wilcher for football and track, popular coaches.
And then Coach Wilcher got the job later on after Coach Rowland left.
Yep. Now, take us to what took you all the way, well, I should say all the way, what took you to Ohio, Youngstown State, going from high school at Cass Tech in Detroit? How's the recruiting process like?
Recruiting process was it was different. It wasn't any different than anybody else's. Process. Me, I'm a field guy. Why? Like why? One, I wanted my parents to make sure that they were able to come see me, my guys, my friends, parents, family. So that decision was it ended up in a nutshell. It was like Fairleigh Dixon was one. University of Detroit is where I thought I was going. That story is something different. That's where I thought I was going. To be honest, like my number one guy at that point, I had Coach Mike Jackson and David Greer at Wayne State. Those are my guys. Like they recruited me, they befriended. Like those were guys that I had love for, to say the least. And that's where I thought I was going. A couple things went on, with the recruiting process to make it kind of stirred the pot a little bit, and it didn't happen. From that, I met Gary Gresh. Gary Gresh was that time assistant at Youngstown State. Got real good. Just a tough, hard-nosed guy. Played for University of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Known as a defensive specialist in his day. But we got tight. We got good. And I decided that Youngstown was where I wanted to go. At that point, the head coach was Dan Peters. God rest his soul. Guy. He ended up being fired that summer. So here's where that loyalty part kicks in. Everything in me wanted to just decommit and go somewhere else, like I really did. But here goes my Superman. He came into the picture again. Made a very, very, very stern, short statement. Did you already make a commitment? I said, yes. Stand on it. And he left it alone. Any decision you make, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to ride with you. Don't be a man who don't stand on his commitments. And that's where I pretty much, that's where that stood. And that's how that happened. I met up. Honestly, foresight, as a professional now, my professional career doesn't take off the way it did had I not made that decision.
Okay.
Coming from that staff at Youngstown State in 1999, one of the assistant coaches was a guy by the name of Derek Kellogg. Today, Derek Kellogg is the head coach at Long Island University.
Oh, wow.
Head coach at University of Massachusetts, UMass.
Okay. I see a pattern here.
He's family. Like, that's my family. Like, I speak on him and I say, Coach Cisco, that's my family. Derek Kellogg is one of my brothers. He gave me a shot when the other 2,000 guys that I had been in connection with helped or whatever. Not saying they owed anything. That was not the case. It was talked about plenty of times to plenty of different coaches. He gave me my shot. And to him, I'll be eternally grateful, and I appreciate him, his family, Nicole, Max. That's my family, and I appreciate what they did. And that blessing is still going today. Like I said, that was 99. This is 2020, and we still on the same squad, to say the least. Ain't no question.
That's beautiful, because I was going to lead into the next question as far as when did you decide that you wanted to get into coaching? They say a point guard is an extension of the coach on the floor anyway, but at what point did you decide that you wanted to get into coaching?
I decided, if you're a player, you never really make that decision early. People tell me they wanted to get into coaching early in life. To me, that meant you wasn't really a player. To me, that's my own opinion. I wanted to play. Playing was my thing. Kind of thought of myself as somebody who kind of thought ahead, kind of knew exactly where I wanted my future to be, how I wanted to live, the type of lifestyle that I wanted to, be in. So once I was done, I had a decision. Go across the waterway to Prague, Europe, and play ball for a couple of years, come back home. 9 times out of 10, when I come home, I'm going to call those guys and say, I want a job. I want to try to get in coaching. So to me, I really donated 5 or 6 years playing over there, not making the money that people come back and say they made. Like, a couple countries make a lot of money, but a lot, 70, 60, 70%, it's not really the number that they come back and say. I met another blessing in life right after school. Came home. What I did know is that basketball was where I wanted. That's the arena that I wanted to reside in. That's where I wanted my life to play a part. I didn't need it. I take that back. I didn't need a blessing. I knew this guy forever. I've been knowing him since I was 7 years old. But at that point when I came home, crazy story, I come home, I let it be known, okay, I'm finna get into AAU. I want to get in AAU. I want to be in the gym. Jake Boyd is one of my mentors, my coaches. Him, Greg Pickett, those two guys put a ball in my hand. At the end of the day, nobody else can say anything different. I played for Coach Jake in the Road Runners all the way from 6 years old to 15. That was my coach. He was from our neighborhood. That was who he was about. I actually got on the team. I wasn't supposed to play when I was 6. He kept coming to pick up Greg Grays and my cousin Keonta Boyd. He's picking those guys up in our neighborhood on our street.
Greg Graves was not from Southfield?
No, Greg from Pinehurst.
Wow. Because I know when he ended up playing, it was in Lathrop. I thought he was from Southfield.
When Doug Smith got drafted. That's how they got the house. That's his cousin.
Oh, okay.
That's why Doug went to McKenzie. Doug went to McKenzie over there in our neighborhood. They grew up on Pinehurst. His dad played for Jake Boyd, Big Greg. Greg, he from over there. But they wouldn't let me go. They never let me go. So I would get rocks and throw them at coach's van when he would pull off because I was frustrated. Let me go. I want to play too. All I heard was, you're too little. You're not old enough. You're not old enough. I want to play. I was 6 years old, and I was throwing them, and I was throwing them, and I was throwing them. He put that car in reverse, came in there, went to my porch. I just knew I was about to get whooped. I told my mom, give me his bag. I know his bag is ready. He been telling me this gym bag ready. He going to practice. And that was my days as a road runner. Loved it. Came home from college, though. Talked to Coach. Coach, I want to get in the game. He said, okay. He gave me his blessing on his next. He said, at that point, Coach thought I should go and team up with Chris Greer and the Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. So that was my choice. That's what I was going to do. It wasn't, verified yet, but that was the plan. I went to a high school game. It was Persian and King, Lamar Smith and Deshaun Sims. And they, I was walking, going to the concession stand, and I got grabbed. I was with a lot of my guys from the neighborhood. We were all there. And this guy came and grabbed me, collared me. Who is this? Like, who is this? All my guys stopped. He said, you better tell him don't touch me. So I looked. It's Duran Speedy Walker. Coach, what you doing? It's my guy now. I've been knowing him again since I've been 7 years old. What you doing? He said, I hear that you're thinking about doing something else. So here go the plan. You played against me. Never would come play for me. You coached with me with Coach Jake them for a couple months before that. Didn't come coach with me. Now you telling me you're going to go and be a part of my competitors? No. Told me no. It's not going to happen. So he said, I want you to come, and that's going to be that.
Yeah, Marlon Williamson.
I said,
born and raised, like I said.
Hold on, my bad. I said, no, it's not fun. That's not confirmed yet, Coach. He said, well, it's confirmed that you with the family. We got practice on Tuesday. This was on a Friday. We got practice on Tuesday. Be there and be on time. You with us. And he left. He told me before he left, if you don't, now understand, we're going to fight. You're not going to fight me back every time I see you. And that's how that happened, literally. And again, something like I told you with the Youngstown, that was like one of the moves in my life that kind of changed everything for me. He took me on this wing, showed me how to run a program, made me a better coach, a better player, a better player's coach, I should say. Okay. How to relate to kids on a different level. I knew how to relate to peers and younger guys in another fashion, but he showed me that aspect, and it was like, yeah. And again, another guy. To this day, we stay in contact on a regular basis. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Looks like the Lord blessed you, and especially pivotal moments, in your young career. We're all still young men,
I don't know what you mean. I'm young still.
Yeah, we're all young. Now, as far as your throughout your